Welcome to the Emerge Leadership Connection, the podcast that gives you the keys to unlock your heroic potential, develop into a legendary leader, and emerge into who you were meant to be. I'm your host, Cody Dakota, founder of the Leadership Guide and finalist for the Extraordinarian Award for coaches with ideas that can change people, businesses, and the world for the better for my ideas on leadership. Now, this is episode 0. This just gives you a little bit of what you're looking forward to and what this podcast is all about and what I'm looking to accomplish with this podcast. So, the Emerge Leadership Connection, the name of this podcast is my goal in life is to help people, 1, emerge into who they were meant to be, and 2, to create legendary leaders. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's start with some statistics that are going on in the world right now. There is a few statistics here that I find personally terrifying. One is that 58% of people trust strangers more than their bosses. That means that over half of the workforce right now would trust someone they don't have any idea who they are above the person they work for. That's a really bad place for our workforce to be in. Another statistic for you, 84% of organizations expect a shortfall of leaders in the next 5 years. Where does that leave all the organizations that are out there? Because that's nearly 85% of companies, which means that if you're not in that top 15% of companies, and possibly even if you are in that top 15% of companies, there's going to be a really hard time finding good leaders. Another statistic, 82% of organizations say their current leaders are ineffective. That means that the leaders that are in most companies right now aren't able to do what they're supposed to be doing. What does this mean for our society? These are statistics that I have been finding in my own life through various different mediums, and these are statistics that I really want to change, which leads to the last statistic, 100%, the need for the next generation of legendary leaders. So what does it take to be a legendary leader? To answer that question, I would start with what I would say is heroic potential. Now, the word hero, one of my mentors taught me, comes from the Greek word hero, which meant that the person had the strength for 2 people. That means that someone who is a hero is not only able to take care of themselves, but they're able to take care of others as well. And so that is the root of leadership. You need to, first off, be able to take care of yourself. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of other people. Then, once you're able to take care of yourself, you can look at beginning to take care of other people. And this is where we begin to find leadership. Now, heroic potential is not just about being able to take care of yourself and being able to take care of others, but it's about reaching that highest potential that you have for your life. What is that vision you have for yourself? That's what you need to be striving for. And it's that striving for that produces people who become legendary leaders. Legendary leaders are the people we remember in life, the people who went out and made a change. And it's not about being a perfect person because, let's face it, we're people. None of us are perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't try and portray perfection in anything I do. In fact, I've already screwed up what I was trying to say in a few of the lines here. And in the podcast, you're going to hear times where I screw up. And guess what? I don't have perfect recordings. So if you're looking for this pristine recording experience, you're not going to find it here. And I'm not really looking to cater to you for that. Because for me, what's more important than a perfect audio experience is a perfect learning experience. It's about actually giving you content that connects you to legendary leadership. Now, where can you find legendary leadership in the world? Legendary leadership can be found anywhere. It doesn't have to just be in the corporate environment. In my podcast, I look to find legendary leaders in all different facets of life, whether it's in the corporations, whether it's in families, whether it's in nonprofits, whether it's in churches. Wherever I can find leaders, that's what I'm looking for, is that idea of the person and that's striving for heroic potential and guiding other people to reach their own heroic potential. And perfection is just not a part of that equation. It never will be. So get over it. That's my little 2 cents there for you. Now, for my organization, I'm the founder of the Leadership Guide, which is a portion of the Loco Coyote Enterprises. And my whole organization is based on 4 values. The first is faith. Now, faith for many people is this concept that is very religious. And for me, it's not quite as religious. What I define as faith is what an acronym I say is piety. And piety, the word piety is dutifulness, right? You have a duty to represent something. And so in my organization, in order to demonstrate faith, you have to show piety. And you show piety or a dutifulness through first perseverance. You don't give up. You never give up. Second, through integrity. You do what is right no matter who's there. Next, you do it through excellence. You aren't looking for perfection. That's something I've already said. But you continuously look to become better and better, and you strive for higher and higher levels. Then you demonstrate piety through timeliness. It's not about always being on time. It's about spending the right amount of time at the right place. That's something that we don't do a lot of in our world anymore. We're so focused on getting to places on time that we don't always spend on focusing the time in the right places. And that's something that I believe needs to change too. So in my podcasts, I don't have a strict time limit on these podcasts. Some of my interviews will be around 45 minutes, and some of them could be over 2 hours. Now, I will try and split them up so that you can go through them in more manageable chunks. But if I do that, you'll be getting the full interview within the same week. I'm not going to make you wait 3 weeks for one full interview. It'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for those interviews. Finally, final portion of faith is you. How do I serve you best? That's what I'm looking to accomplish in this podcast and all the work I do, is how do I help you become the legendary leader that I want you to become? Next value for me is family. And family is not blood necessarily, because I know that there are people that I'm related to by blood who I would not consider my family. And there are people in my life who are not related to me at all by blood, and yet I would consider them much closer family than anyone else. And so what family is, it's the unit of people that are closest to you. And you have a duty to serve your family. You have to first take care of yourself, and the next group of people you serve is your family. That's my belief. My third value is freedom. I believe that all people have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of purpose. And it's our duty to achieve that first in our own lives. And once we're able to achieve it in our lives, it's our responsibility to help those who are a part of our families achieve that. And once we help those in our family achieve that, we have the ability to really help others obtain freedom as well. My final value is future. Once we've achieved that freedom in our own lives and the families that we represent, then it's our responsibility to expand our reach, to leave behind a legacy that's going to impact future generations for the better. And that is the path to legendary leadership, in my opinion. It's first faith, then family, then freedom, then future. If you don't have faith, you're not going to make it far in life at all. You have to believe that things are going to work out all right. If you always expect the worst and you always believe the worst will happen, you will never achieve legendary leadership. That's why you have to have faith. Then you have to take care of your family. If you're unable to take care of your family, you're going to be unproductive at work. You're not going to be able to achieve anything with your work. And in the end, you're going to fall short of your heroic potential. Because if you can't take care of those closest to you, how are you going to take care of anyone else? Now, in serving your family to the highest ability, you need to be searching for freedom. How do you give them life? How do you give them liberty? How do you help them pursue their purpose? If you're not able to achieve that freedom in your life and you're not able to help those in your family achieve freedom, the future doesn't really matter because you're not going to be living a full life. You're not going to have the liberties to be able to do what you need to do in your life. And you're not going to be able to pursue your purpose if you don't have that freedom. And so legendary leaders change the future, but only after they first have faith, family, and freedom. That's my belief. Now, that pretty much wraps this up. If there are any questions you have, super easy to get a hold of me. You can go to http://www.theleadership.guide. And there is no .com after that. So let me repeat that for you. It is http://www.theleadership.guide. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Instagram as well. Any of those platforms, you can reach out to me on any of that. On my website, there's a contact me page. There's a little question mark that should pop up and a few different ways to get a hold of me there. You can reach out to me on any of my social medias, and I'll be looking to get back in contact with you. And if worse comes absolute worse and none of that works, you can send me an email. My email is cody@theleadership.guide. If you're looking for the other services I provide, which include legendary leadership and heroic potential coaching, speaking, workshops, as well as this podcast, all that's going to be on my website. And if you have any questions about any of it, again, feel free to contact me. I am so glad that you're here on this journey with me to pursue legendary leadership, because it's sorely, sorely lacking in the world today. And we need more legendary leaders in the world. That is what I am pursuing, and that's what I expect you to be pursuing in listening to this podcast. Let me know what you think on any of these episodes, what you like, what you don't like, because I know I'm not perfect, and I'm always striving to become better, to provide you with quality content so that you can unlock your legendary leadership, so that you can reach your heroic potential, and so you can emerge and become who you are meant to be.